Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. We appreciate you guys coming on with us. We love you dearly. Let me say hello to a few friends as we get going. Michael in Norland, Brahim in Portland, Oregon, Lori Lee in Ventura, California. Good morning to you guys. Mary from Norwich. And Sandy from Minnesota, and Tina from Nova Scotia. Nativity, good morning. And who was that up there? I think it was Georgie, Fran, Orangeville, Donna, Park Hill, and Nick from our staff. Wendy, Markham, Gary, Bolton, and Crystal. Good morning. Sandy, Vancouver, Washington. Dave, Muskoka, good morning. And Brahim says he's on vacation. You know, and he still gets up early in the morning. Sandy and Catherine from Newfoundland. Bruno, how are you? And there is, I can't see, Elaine. How you doing? Cecilia. Lynn from Aurora, Jean, Peterborough, and Cheryl, West Virginia. Jeanette, how are you? And Diane, Thunder Bay. Nice to have you on. Andrea, Niagara Falls. Kevin, Kevin's. And Milika from Stouffville. Kitty, Kelowna. Teresa from Calgary, Alberta. Wanda, how are you? And hold on. Teresa. Nice to have you on. And Laurie, Cambridge. If you get up into my Crystal, how are you? Yvonne. If it gets up into that microscope, I don't see it. Marianne, Eva. And it looks like Sharon. And two Sharons in a row, one from Kansas, Susie. Couple of more guys. Jeanette, how are you? Derek and Linda. Oh, I was waiting for those Lindas to come on. Andrea and Maureen from Penticton, British Columbia. Wanda from Virginia. Good morning. Karen from Indiana. Robin from Connecticut. And Kathy, how are you? Mara. Sue's in the clouds. Arlene. And Faye. La Batière, Quebec. And Dave, how are you? Rosalinda. From the Kidneys of Canada. Jude. New York, Lori, Niagara Falls. Donna, how are you? Okay, guys, let's get going. Marina. Okay, I got stuff written out again. How do you like the hat, folks? Eggs, meat, and cheese. E equals MC squared. Okay? Okay, we're always reminding you the best foods in the world. The best foods in the world come from the animal kingdom. Okay? You're always going to get that double down and triple down. The plant kingdom, is it good for you? Yep. Very good for you. Is it equal to the animal kingdom of foods? Nope, it's not. Okay? Now I know every nutritional guru that you would ever hear about or meet, they're all into plants. But that's not the truth, guys. That's not the truth. Again, plants, fruits and vegetables, no problem. But don't live on them because they're not complete. The complete foods are animal protein and animal fat, eggs, meat, and cheese. The hat. Okay. This morning I want to talk to you about cancer. and vitamin D, the good news on vitamin D, again and again and again. And we talk about this almost daily, the war on vitamin D. Why is there a war? We went into quite a bit of detail yesterday. So if you get a chance, listen to the podcast. We talked about the war again on vitamin D and what's behind that war. Okay, so I don't want to go into it too much, only to tell you the good news about vitamin D and cancer. The sun. Now we're told to stay out of the sun. And that's not right, guys. That's not right. The sun is good for you. Now, I don't want you to burn. Don't go burning in the sun. But the deadliest cancers, as far as skin cancer goes, are the melanomas, and they are invariably people that don't get in the sun. And I want to give you some good reasons today to take vitamin D as a supplement and to get in the sun. Do both. Most people need both. Okay? Now, I made some notes. Okay? And let me quote in my book here, Sun, Steak, and Steel. I got it right in front of me. Okay, you see that? Okay, if you go to page, hold on, vitamin D, and I want to read a quote here because I seen this quote several years ago, and it is, hold on, I got it right here. Okay, it's a quote from Cedric Garland. Who's that? Dr. Cedric Garland is an epidemiologist, and he says this: vitamin D could easily prevent 600,000 cases a year of breast and colorectal cancer. Now, I'm going to show you some studies this morning that make Dr. Garland look like a genius, okay? He said vitamin D could easily prevent 600,000 cases a year of breast and colorectal cancer. Okay? Now let me give you some stats here, okay? See my little notepad? I hope you can read my writing. Most people can't, okay? But I'll try and make it simple. Okay, so we talked about the 600,000 a year. His estimate, an epidemiologist called Cedric Garland, okay? Now, look at the notes here. 70 to 80% of the population are what? Low in vitamin D. You see, guys, what you should have is optimized levels of vitamin D. They should be optimized. And when you look at blood work, and I highly, highly recommend you find out your status of vitamin D. Now, unfortunately, because doctors never make that connection between your serum levels of vitamin D, called your dihydroxy 25, they don't look at it very much. They rarely order vitamin D unless they're suspicious that you have osteoporosis. Because the only thing with most physicians, not all, most physicians look at vitamin D as a bone vitamin. I was taught that in school. Do you know that when I was in school, okay, this year celebrating 50 years after my graduation, okay, May 1974. You know what I was taught? Vitamin D, 400 international units is too much. You see, for bone, you don't need a lot of vitamin D. You need it, but you don't need much. And remember, because vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, it scared the living life out of medicine. You have to understand that vitamin D scared the living life out of medicine. Okay? So, and it's hard to unscare them. It's hard to undo that. Because in school, they don't learn much about vitamins, but they learn that here are your fat soluble vitamins. Vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. ADEC. Okay? I remember that. That was probably my first day in school. What are your fat soluble vitamins? ADEC. And therefore, doctors, even in my training, be careful with vitamin A. Be careful with vitamin D. Be careful with vitamin E. Be careful with vitamin K. Because they're fat soluble. As if that was a curse. That's not a curse. That's actually good for you. Do I want you to get your vitamin A? You bet your boots. Eat steak and you get your vitamin A. Vitamin A is only found in the animal kingdom. It's not found in the plant kingdom. Only the precursors to vitamin A, proretinol A, and beta-carotene are found in the plant kingdom. You need vitamin A. You need vitamin D. You need vitamin E. Exercise. You know me and the real vitamin E. No, I'm not against vitamin E, but you get to eat it. I'm not a big guy on supplementing. And I've told you I talk about the kid on the block that nobody talks about, and that's vitamin K. And I love vitamin K too. Okay. So anyway, back to vitamin D in cancer. Okay. So I'm just giving you a little background as to why vitamin D has got such a bad rap, because of that ancient thinking that it's a fat soluble vitamin. And they found even at low doses of vitamin D, 200, 400 international units, it was good for your bones, even at that low dose. I know. But you need a lot more than that when we're talking about cancer. Vitamin D in cancer. Now, I want to show you 5 ways how vitamin D helps in cancer. How does it do that? Okay? Now, let me show you 5 ways. Okay? So, number 1, you see here my notes, 5 ways. You got that? Okay? And cancer patients are notoriously low. When they actually check out, anybody that's got cancer, and they do their blood serum, cancer patients are notoriously low in vitamin D. Yep. Yes. Almost invariably, they're low in vitamin D. Okay, now, let's look at the first one. 5 ways it prevents abnormal growth of cancer cells. Cancer cells are rambunctious, and they love to multiply and divide. And I've shown you this, guys, in teaching before, okay? Okay? Now, look at this, okay? You know me and my ballpoint pens. Don't take my pen. Ask my staff. Leave my pens alone. You can use your pen. Don't use mine. Okay? I love my pen. And don't touch it. Okay? Now, see this little tip here? When we're talking about vitamin D, and we're talking even cancer, guys, don't forget this. We're looking at a little tip of a ballpoint pen. We're talking microscopic and submicroscopic. You know what the problem with cancer is? To get to the size. Okay, ladies, put your hand on your breast for a second. Okay? To get a cancer, to get to the size of a tip of a ballpoint pen, takes 5 years. Because people always have this idea with cancer. Last week I didn't have cancer, and this week I have cancer according to the doctor. Now, it doesn't work like that, guys. Cancer proliferates inside microscopically with the division of cells. You can't see them. But it takes a long time for cancer to grow. It's only when it gets to its late stages does cancer grow rapidly. So ladies and gentlemen for prostate or whatever, when you feel something in a shower and you go, gee, I didn't feel that little lump there before. Now I feel like I got a lump in my breast there. And you go see the doctor and they do a biopsy and usually a mammogram. And they go, you know what? You got cancer there. Well, that cancer been there a long time. You didn't feel it because it was too small. This is why detection is all right. I'm not against detecting cancers, okay? I'm not. But what's better? Prevention. Prevention of cancers is better than detection of cancer. See, when you look, and the cancer societies and the Canadian Cancer Society and the American Cancer Society and the breast cancer societies and all the societies that are looking for your money, they don't, first of all, they sponsor very little research. And two, they're all talking about detection, not prevention. Because if they were talking prevention, they'd talk about vitamin D and the importance of it. There's enough studies out there, but they don't get much ink. They don't get much ink. So cancer to divide, guys. Cancer cells divide. The cells divide. And they multiply. Vitamin D stops that process of division, of multiplication of cancer cells at the cellular level. Now, guys, I don't know if there's anything better for prevention than vitamin D. Okay? Now, let me get to my notes. Okay? So, the first one is 5 ways prevents abnormal growth of cancer cells. Number 2, apoptosis. What's apoptosis? Oh, I hate those big words. What's apoptosis? Who cares? No, I don't like big words, but I got to tell you them because that's what they say. Apoptosis is your body's ability to get rid of cancer cells. Bad guys. And vitamin D, okay? Vitamin D helps get rid of bad guys. It helps your lymphatic system drain those cancer cells out of your body. And by the way, just going to give you my take on things, okay? Remember, it's my take, it's my opinion. I don't like when, you know, there's two schools. Cancer spreads through the lymphatic system, or your body gets rid of cancer through your lymphatic system. Okay? I would never big on taking your lymph nodes out. My thinking is, hey, God gave you a drainage system, a sewage system. Those are your lymphatics. If you see cancer cells in your lymphatics, hallelujah. Well, that's your body's working. You should have cancer cells in your lymphatics. But, you know, most women, when they get the diagnosis of breast cancer, for example, sometimes routinely, even without any evidence that there's cancer spreading, they'll take out some lymph nodes to check for cancer cells. And then if you have any cancer cells in lymph nodes, man, you get radiated till you light up like a Christmas tree. And chemotherapy. Anywho, I look at the body differently. I see our body as having a tremendous immune system. And part of the way it works is you drain. We talk often about the glymphatic system, which is, we didn't even know this in school. We knew about the lymphatic system in school 50 years ago. But now we know about the glymphatic, the self-cleaning oven of your brain. Do you want to hinder that? I don't think so. Okay, but anyway. Okay, so apoptosis, I don't even know how you say it. Vitamin D increases your body's ability to get rid of cancer cells. Okay? That's number 2. And number 3, it helps starve cancer cells. Angiogenesis. Oh, there's another word. Angio means blood supply to the... Do you know what they say about cancer? Cancer cells and cancer tissue develop its own blood supply to multiply. Vitamin D actually defeats that process of angiogenesis. Genesis means new, right? The formation of new angio, blood supply, new blood vessels. Cancer does that. Vitamin D suppresses angiogenesis. Isn't that wonderful how vitamin D works? Did you ever think of it? When you went out in the sun, when do you feel better? On a sunny day or a rainy day? Oh, on a sunny day, Doc. Yeah, isn't it amazing? Even if it's in the middle of winter and it's a nice, bright, sunny day, I feel better. Hello? Common sense talks about vitamin D. Common sense talks about the sun. Now, so it starves cancer cells because it doesn't allow the formation of new blood vessels. And 4, it reduces metastasis. So for those who already have cancer cells proliferating, vitamin D has been proven to reduce metastasis, the spreading. Of course, if number 3 is true, angiogenesis and apostasis, if those are true, then 4 is true. It reduces the metastasis of cancer, the spreading of cancer. Now, I've taught you guys this before, number 5, okay? I've taught you this number 5 quite a few times, And number 5, I didn't even write it. What a guy. I forgot to write it. Number 5. Let me draw it. Oh, what a guy. I'm telling you. Don't quit your day job, Tony. Okay. There is, let's call this a cancer cell. And then we're going to call this a normal cell. And I'm going to put a little bit of antennas here. Okay? One of the ways that your body fights cancer is through, obviously, your immune system, but very specifically, T cells. T cells are your Navy SEALs, okay? And your cells in your body, okay, you see that little, they have antennas for vitamin D. Vitamin D, okay, increases the activity of your T cells. Your Navy SEALs get their nutrition, partly, from vitamin D. They get their power. They get their energy. You want T cells on your side working for you. Okay? And so that's the 5th way. Oh, I forgot to even write it. Okay. Now let me show you something. These are studies that came out very recently on vitamin D and cancer. Specifically, 2 types. Okay? 3, well, I always, guys, okay, I think if you've followed me long enough, you know this. Women, breast cancer. Men, prostate cancer. It's the same cancers. What do I mean by that? Breast cancer and prostate cancer in men, okay, are very, very similar cancers. Breast cancer in women, 2 big factors. One is insulin, growth hormone. The other one is estrogen, growth hormone. Women who get breast cancer generally are estrogen dominant. And they have insulin resistance, meaning high circulating insulin, almost invariably. Men, prostate. High insulin makes things grow. And high estrogen, yes, men. Men, testosterone is down, estrogen is up in prostate cancer. Now, the 3rd factor in breast cancer and prostate cancer is vitamin D. Because studies have shown, and these are looking at a conglomerate of studies. Women, listen, ladies, listen, Lindas. When your vitamin D levels, your serum vitamin D's, is 60 or up of Ng ml. Okay? If you are 60 and above, in Canada, that would be 2.5 times that. Okay? So 160, 120, 160, 180 in that area in Canada. Okay? NMOL. Okay? When you're at those levels of blood work, so you get your blood work, this is why I want you to get your blood work done. Do it once a year, twice a year. You might have to pay for it, but it's an investment. Because if your vitamin D levels are not kosher, if your vitamin D levels are not maximized, optimized, you're in doo-doo. You're in trouble. Now, nobody's going to tell you that except me. But I'm telling, because I look at the studies, and these studies never make mainstream. They never make the mainstream. But these are exhaustive studies on vitamin D, and they're showing for breast cancer, ladies. The most common women's cancer is breast cancer. The most common prostate cancer for men cancer is prostate. Like I said, similar cancers. Ladies, if you're 60 above or 150 to 180 Canadian, you have an 80% decrease in your risk of getting breast cancer or prostate cancer in men. You see, vitamin D should be optimized. Oh, my vitamin D is normal. Who cares? I don't care if it's normal. I don't want to be normal in vitamin D. I want to be optimized in vitamin D. And so when a doctor sees normal, well, you're normal. Vitamin D, when your serum levels get to a certain point, your ability to fight cancer, especially breast and prostate cancer, is unreal, guys. Unreal. And that whole mechanism that I talked about, the way your vitamin D helps you in 5 ways. Okay? Unreal. Gastro and listen to this. This is a study done on digestive cancers. Okay? Stomach, bowel. You know what one of the most common cancers that we're seeing today, especially in young people, it's frightening, is colorectal cancer in young people. Guys, that used to be an old man's disease. When I was in school, colorectal cancer was an old man's disease. So was pancreatic cancer. No longer. Okay? But here's a study done on digestive cancers. And it was given 2,000 IUs. That's not much. 2,000 IUs are for mice. Okay? 2,000 IUs are for mice. But this study showed that just by giving them 2,000 IUs of vitamin D, digestive cancer, stomach, colorectal, bowel cancer were decreased by 73%. Man, don't you think that should be in the news somewhere? Take your vitamin D, get in the sun. Guys, the best thing to do is get in the sun. There's nothing like sunlight. Okay? There's nothing like it. If you have dark skin, you need the sun plus a supplement. You know what? I actually say this anyways. I might as well get it off my chest. You really need to take a supplement of vitamin D every day. Now, you might not need much if you happen to live in Florida. Oh, my Florida friends. This was years ago. I commented on this in my radio show years ago. Floridians, I want to choke you. Why? Well, you live in the Sunshine State, and you're scaredy cats of the sun. Johnson & Johnson has got you so scared of the sun that you don't go in the sun. You got the sun 322 days a year on average, and you don't take advantage of it. It drives me crazy. Us Canadians, we spend a lot of money to go into the sun. Okay? I know they scared you. Okay, but can you imagine, guys? Do you think this should be on the mainstream news? Take 2,000 IUs and you get a 73% decrease in digestive cancers. If your blood levels are at a certain point, you got an 80% decrease in your risk of breast and prostate cancer. Guys, don't wait for mainstream medicine, media. Don't wait, guys. Don't wait for them to give you the go-ahead to take vitamin D. Don't do it. Do it on your own. You need it. Get in the sun. If it's a sunny day, enjoy. Don't burn. You don't need to burn. Cover up. Once you've got 20 minutes, you get 10,000 IUs. 20 minutes. And you don't have to be butt naked either. Somebody said that. Oh, Doc, you got to be butt naked. No, you don't. Let your arms and your legs be exposed. Those are your solar panels right here. See your solar panels? Right there. And your eyeballs are solar panels too. Don't put the sunglasses on right away. Okay. Okay, I'm breathing. What's Friday? Oh, question and answer. Okay, get your questions in. People are already starting to do it. I saw a few. I like that. Guys, you tell me a place, a podcast, a Facebook Live that will answer your questions like we do. I just haven't seen it, but I mean it. We love doing it. Okay? You guys, my audience, are the biggest reason that this podcast, the Doctor Is In podcast, is one of the most successful podcasts on your smart device. You're smart if you tell people to listen to it. No, guys, we share, you share, we share, you do it, you do your part, we appreciate it. We love you guys dearly. And thank you for participating in our private Facebook group. I think we're up to 21,000 in that private group. Almost 90,000 followers on Facebook. And we're over 4 million downloads and counting on the Doctor Is In podcast. We love you guys. Thank you. Okay? Get in the sun. Talk to you soon.